I thank God again. God is responsible for all that I am, all that I have been, and all that I will be. And I will speak about Him. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Is the exhibit. Exhibit, you know about exhibit. These are things used in a court of law to prove that something really happened, so that one may be put in prison or may be acquitted or released. So that is why God has issue with people. That is why there is judgment. It is because there was evidence. You could have believed in God, but you chose not to believe in Him. You could have trusted Him, but you chose other routes. It is the evidence, and it may work against people. When the time of visitation comes, you know there is a time of visitation. There is a time of reckoning. Humans don't, flesh and blood don't exist forever. There is a time of death. But that is not to scare people. I'm just going to preach about faith, to put hope in people, to make people to understand that they can hope in God. Faith is the evidence. It's like telling God, I notice that I notice you. I trust you enough that you are stronger than the situations that I'm facing or the things that are before me. It is saying that you trust in God so much to the point you know He will accomplish that which you desire or wants in your life. Faith is the evidence. It is the willingness to go to lengths for God, because you know that He is faithful, that even though things happen, even though you die, He will raise you from the dead. That is who God is. And faith works like that. It is in trusting God beyond all doubt, where there is no strength to trust in Him, but you still trust in Him. There is where people have lost faith, but you still trust Him enough. Faith is the evidence. Things that you don't see, but they see you. Things that you don't touch, but they touch you spiritually. You don't physically touch them, but they experience you spiritually. They touch you back. You don't see them by your eyes, but they look at you. That is why God requires that His people do not walk by sight, but by faith. By sight is by looking at the things in the natural, looking at the people, hearing the conversations, the talks that people share with each other, comparisons, competing with other people in the flesh, looking at people, at the levels, at what people have become and what you may have not become. That is walking by sight. And to look at life from the angles of how people live instead of how God requires you to live. That is walking by sight. Gauging things based on how you see them, based on what your mind can do. That is that which your mind can do. And I thank God for giving us the gift of thinking, the gift of talents and ability to learn science, knowledge and wisdom. But there is a limit beyond which science cannot solve. a limit beyond which science does not apply, where the best doctors or the most learned people, scientists, cannot help you, cannot solve your problem or heal that which you are suffering from. There is a limit, and where there is a limit, God is not limited. That is why faith is a very big thing when it comes to your relationship with God. And faith comes by hearing. What do you hear? You hear the word. You learn about God from hearing or from reading, or God speaks His word. He can speak to you in many ways that He chooses to speak. But whatever way, you have to hear. And when you have heard, is when you begin to value God. You begin to rank God. You begin to put God above everything. You begin to trust in Him. You begin to run to Him when everything is working against you. You begin to look up to Him. You begin to depend on Him and learn from Him. You begin to expect from Him and pray to Him. You begin to respect Him and worship Him. You begin to fear Him, and things begin. You become peaceful, the peace that surpasses understanding, because you walk by faith and not by sight, not by the things that you see or experience in the flesh, but by how God works. You know, God is powerful. So faith is the evidence. The things of God approach you, even though you may not see them. But it is because you love God so much, to the point that you trust Him enough, even when everything is contrary to you or to what He has taught you about Him. And God is powerful. He is above all. He has never failed. I will tell the people to believe in God. There is a God that you can believe in. You can trust in. You can pray to Him. You can worship Him. You can depend on Him. You can expect from Him that even though you are dead in any way, in flesh or in any way, even if dead naturally, but there is within you the faith in God, that respect that you give to God enough, and you don't pretend about that trust in Him. You know it. You value God. You fear Him. Even though you may not have it in you, maybe the ways to demonstrate, but you have it. The word is in you. The faith, the belief is in you. You trust in God. You don't trust anything else but God. As long as there is that in you, even though you be dead, even though you be lost or discouraged or heartbroken or broken or destroyed in any way, yet that word that you believe about Him, that genuineness and trust and looking up to, that you have towards God Almighty, that is the evidence that God is going to come through for you. And God will come. He will come speedily, even though it may be as though it is a delay to you. But with God, 1,000 years, He says, one day. What you see to be a very long time, to God, it is nothing. He is going to come speedily, and the evidence will materialize. The blessing will gain shape. He will give you that which you have been praying for. That is the God who created the universe. I speak this to those who value God, or to those who desire or want to love God, or to be part of those who respect, fear, worship, learn about and do that which God has commanded.